Iranian officials are publicly threatening to make the American people miserable. But behind closed doors, a sweeping treaty between the US and Iran is quietly sitting at 95% complete. The driving force behind this standoff is straightforward: the absolute prevention of a nuclear-armed Iran, alongside the stabilization of global maritime trade routes. Despite the diplomatic progress, the Trump administration's posture remains rigid. The standing order is that this will be a highly meaningful agreement, or there will be no deal at all. The White House is actively distancing this framework from the previous administration. They are structuring this as the exact mechanical opposite of the Obama-era agreement. To understand how this standoff actually ends, we have to look past the political theater and examine the precise physical mechanics required to bridge that final 5%. The US forced Iran back to the negotiating table through an unrelenting economic blockade. By choking off Iranian ports, the strategy paralyzed their revenue. Compounding that financial pressure is a severely degraded military. With nearly the entire Iranian navy neutralized, Tehran lost its capacity to rebuild. This match shows the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical shipping choke points. Because of the leverage built by the blockade, the first major physical demand on the table is the complete, toll-free reopening of these waters. The US made it clear that Iran will not receive a single dollar of sanctions relief until these shipping lanes are verified as fully operational and free to navigate. By cornering the regime financially and militarily, negotiators converted raw strangulation into tangible, non-negotiable concessions on the open water. But maritime access is just the prerequisite. The primary objective is the total physical dismantlement of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Negotiators call the first condition no dust. This requires foreign excavators to physically enter the country, unbury, and completely export all highly enriched uranium. Following that, the regime must systematically dismantle their advanced centrifuges, the specialized machinery used to enrich that uranium in the first place. This flowchart illustrates the no dollars agreement. Unlike previous agreements, this structure places asset unfreezing at the absolute end of the process. The sequence is linear. First physical destruction, then independent verification. Only then are frozen assets released. It is an equation built on extreme delayed conditionality, ensuring the physical threat is removed long before any economic relief is granted. Because of these strict conditions, the framework has already secured backing from neighboring Gulf state allies who are closely watching the negotiations. But finalizing that last 5% is currently stalled. A formal memorandum of understanding is facing heavy friction, simply because the Iranian bureaucratic and political system operates much slower than Washington wants. However, the US is presenting a unified front. Senators and administration officials are refusing to accelerate their timeline or water down the strict limitations on the nuclear program just to get a signature. The administration's bottom line is that they are in no hurry. If the final details aren't met, the entire framework collapses, and the economic blockade stays in place indefinitely. The success of this pressure campaign now rests entirely on one question: whether the Iranian regime will swallow the bitter pill of strict follow-through to save its collapsing economy.